So, most of us have probably read the textbook definition of Scrum, right? But what really separates a team that's just, doing Scrum from one that's truly great? That's what we're going to get into. We're going to look past the basic framework and figure out the secrets to building an absolute Scrum dream team.
So here's how we'll break it down. We'll start with what the Scrum framework really promises a team. Then, we're going to meet the three key players that make up this dream team: the visionary, the enabler, and the creators. And finally, we'll see how it all clicks together to unlock something really special.
All right, let's start with the big idea, the Scrum Dream Team. To really get what makes a team amazing, we have to first understand what Scrum is trying to do in the first place. What's the core promise here?
If you look at the official Scrum Guide, it defines it as a framework for tackling complex problems and delivering the most value you possibly can. Think of it like a rulebook, but one that creates space for teams to collaborate, to learn, and to experiment. Sounds pretty straightforward, doesn't it?
Well, here's the thing. A framework is just a tool. Having a hammer doesn't automatically make you a master carpenter. So what's that secret sauce? What's the thing that takes a team from just following the rules to a team that is absolutely crushing it?
First up on our team is the visionary, and that is the product owner. This is the person who's really setting the direction, giving the entire team a purpose. You can think of them as the captain of the ship, making sure everyone is steering towards the exact same destination.
I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. The product owner as a mini CEO. See, they're not just managing a backlog or a to-do list. No, they are obsessed with business value, with the return on investment. They're always scanning the horizon for new opportunities, for potential threats, making sure the team is always building the right thing.
It's a totally different mindset. A great product owner lives and breathes the product vision. And crucially, they're empowered to say no. That is maybe one of the hardest and most important parts of the job because it protects the team's focus. They aren't just trying to make customers happy, they're aiming to absolutely delight them. And they know that a real face-to-face conversation will always beat a ticket in some tracking system.
Okay, next up is the enabler, our Scrum Master. Now, this is not your typical manager. This is the person whose entire job is to make success possible for everybody else on the team. A great Scrum Master has to wear a ton of different hats. One minute, they're a servant leader, the next a facilitator, a coach, a mentor, sometimes even a conflict navigator. They're kind of like a chameleon, constantly adapting their approach to what the team needs at that exact moment. And this, right here, this really nails the difference between good and great. A good Scrum Master is like a firefighter. They're great at putting out fires as they pop up. But a great Scrum Master, they're the fire marshal. They're preventing those fires from ever starting in the first place. It's all about being proactive instead of reactive. And what's their secret weapon? It's a deep, unshakable faith in the team. Instead of feeling like they have to solve every single problem themselves, their daily motto is, bring it to the team. They empower the team to discover their own solutions, and that's what builds real ownership and helps everyone grow. And that brings us to the very heart of the operation, the creators, the development team. These are the brilliant people who actually turn that vision into a tangible reality. For a great development team, it's not just about how fast they can go. It's about a relentless, passionate pursuit of technical excellence. They often pull inspiration from other disciplines, like extreme programming, which is all about boosting software quality. They focus on how they're building, not just what they're building. And this isn't just some abstract idea. It's about real, concrete practices. Things like refactoring to keep the code clean and healthy, pair programming to share knowledge and catch mistakes early, and continuous integration to make sure all the pieces are always working together. They even use things like spike solutions, which are basically just quick experiments to figure out the best way to solve a tricky problem. These aren't chores. These are the habits that build quality in from the very beginning. This is honestly one of my favorite principles ever, the Boy Scout rule. It just perfectly captures that spirit of collective ownership. It means it doesn't matter who originally wrote the code. If you work on it, you make it a little bit better. It's that shared commitment that keeps the product healthy and sustainable for the long haul. So we've met our players, right? We have the visionary, the enabler, and the creators. Now, let's talk about how they all come together to really unlock greatness. Because here's the absolute truth. Greatness is not a solo act. You could have the most amazing product owner in the world, but without a fantastic team to actually execute that vision, well, that vision is just a dream. True excellence is a team sport, period. You need that crystal clear direction from the product owner. You need that smooth, supportive process from the Scrum Master, and you need that high-quality, brilliant execution from the development team.
And that right there is the main takeaway. The real magic isn't in any single role. It's in the synergy between them. It's in how they all work together, how they protect and guide and create as one unit. That's what lifts a team from just being good to being truly great. So, I'll leave you with a question to think about. Looking at these three roles and how they interact, what's the one thing your team could start doing, maybe tomorrow, to move beyond just following the process and start truly unlocking its own greatness? Just something to think about.